Hi, I'm Darren. I live on the Mornington Peninsula and I work in local government. And I first came into contact with Nick just over 12 months ago. Nick and I met when we were selling and buying stuff on the local marketplace, and I was really curious to see, but I saw his sign on the side of his car, and I was experiencing some mental health issues at the time, and I just made some inquiries about what he did, and just meeting him, having almost an instant trust and comfort. I certainly said I really be keen to see you to work on some things that I was dealing with at the time. So my mental health issues were really stress, anxiety, and probably experienced that for pretty much most of my adult life. And when that anxiety heightened, it was really about me having real panic attacks, worrying about what I was doing, but more so really self-doubting my capability, to the point where I would take time off work. I would be quite distressed, would not sleep for a week, 2 weeks. And that was probably about a 12-18 month cycle that I experienced from time to time. I've seen psychologists, 2 or 3, and whilst they helped stabilise me initially, what I was looking for was something that was going to be more long-term, something that I could control and be more self-managed in, less reliant on medication, less reliant on things outside of my control going right. I came along and did a first consultation with Nick to find out about what his approach would be in helping me become, I guess, better self-managed in dealing with my stress and anxiety. And the approach and the pillars that Nick explained to me was really different to what I'd experienced before. A lot of the time it was sort of talking about what the problem was rather than how I can look at those problems differently and better self-manage. MindFit was different from my experience again because it looked at me, and whilst I thought these things that are going on are really reliant or dependent on me on how I manage myself, this was the first time that I probably really made myself the priority and really worked on the things which I was not managing well, and that was trust and belief in myself that I could do this. And I guess that for me was real encouragement, that it was about empowering me, building my confidence, building my own self-belief, which I would then be able to deal with situations much differently than how I had been before, where I was quite reactive, and it was often the things outside of my control which were consuming my thoughts, which were becoming my beliefs ultimately. And that, for me, in such a short time, in the first 6 weeks of the program I saw amazing results and amazing change in my mindset. If I go back to where I was before working with Nick, I would look at many things and try and manage or deal with all those in one go. I would be quite reactive. I would worry to the point where I was not even dealing with the day-to-day, what do I need to do today to better self-manage, but thinking way ahead, worrying, almost catastrophizing what hadn't already happened. And again, that being my belief that that was going to happen. And in working with Nick, even just taking a pause, some very conscious strategies around that's interesting, that's curious, and not jumping into a response at the time gave me the space to be able to look at a situation, think what I can do to self-manage myself through that situation and not react to it. And that's been the key difference in just pausing, taking a breath, has really done a great deal to reduce my feelings of anxiety, because my anxiety wasn't just my mind, but I would feel that in my body as well. And I can say those feelings and my mind jumping ahead and worrying about things has been much more under control since I've been seeing Nick. That I need to take responsibility for my own happiness, and that starts with making me a priority and trusting and believing in myself that I are worthy and can manage situations without it becoming me reacting to it. Things that happen, things that people do, things that don't go my way are things that I don't want to use all my energy up on. What I want to use my energy on is self-management, what I can do to control and respond appropriately to those situations. For anyone that's struggling, has lost trust in themselves to be able to be a better person, self-manage and deal with stressful situations, I'd highly recommend coming along and seeing Nick.